Hi, Jeff Munn, Creating Extraordinary Futures. I want to tell you a little story about a neighbor of mine. The neighbor, I don't know his name, but I call him Mulch Man. It is a mystery to me what he is doing in his yard every year. Um, it's happened for the last several years now. As long as I can remember, every spring, Mulch Man gets what I consider to be an obscene quantity of mulch, and he spreads it through his whole lawn. He makes paths with it. It's almost like a mulch labyrinth, if you can imagine that. Um, the paths are, this high or so off of the grass. There's plantings in the lawn, but it's nothing particularly ornate or unusual other than this distinctive feature of lots and lots of mulch. And then the interesting thing is that a few weeks later, he does it all over again, and he does it for the whole summer, from what I can tell. And I know two things about this. One is that it makes no sense to me. And two is that it makes perfect sense to him. And this is a beautiful illustration of the fact that each of us, moment by moment, is creating our world, our existence. I am never experiencing anything outside my own head. It's my brain creating this virtual reality that then I treat as real. And some of it's conscious and a lot of it is unconscious. A lot of it is the stories from my childhood that I don't remember. A lot of it is rules that I've taken on from our society, from our culture around how to be or how to be successful or how to work or when I can stop working. I know Mulch Man is doing the same thing. And in the world that he's creating for himself, 100% of the time, what he's doing makes perfect sense. I know one other thing, and that is, as I told you the story of Mulch Man, I'm guessing you created an image in your head. You created some details around what he looks like, or how he moves, or how big he is, or what he's wearing, or what his house looks like, or what the plantings look like. I don't know you did that for sure, but that's just our tendency when we hear something that even sounds like the beginnings of a story. Our minds instantly create pictures in our head of what that is. That's why reading fiction is so fantastic. And if you talk to people who, one person, for example, before the Harry Potter books became movies, I remember people arguing about what Ron looked like, or Hermione looked like, or Harry looked like, or Hogwarts looked like. Now, as soon as the movies created that, you could go back to the books and you would no longer see those images that you had made up. You would instead see the director's version, Chris Columbus, if I remember right, for the first movie. He created what Hogwarts looked like. They didn't change it every movie. They left it the same. So these things that are created end up looking solid. And we do that with our lives. We do that with stories. We do that with lives. I mean, I think a perfect illustration of how powerful this is the fact that we can do it when we're sleeping, and it will look totally real. And unless you're good at lucid dreaming, and I've occasionally had a lucid dream or two, you have no idea you're even dreaming. It's 100% real until you wake up and think, well, that made no sense. But boy, I was caught up in it. Well, how many things in your waking life make no sense, but you're caught up in them? That's something to look at. That's something to explore. And as I think about Mulch Man, I just think that's a great a great way at pointing at this innate capacity that we're using 100% of the time to create our world. So the next time you see someone who's doing something that makes no sense to you, or maybe more pertinently in our polarized world, believes something that makes no sense to believe in from your perspective, know that the world that they're creating makes 100% sense to them, looks 100% real to them. And just by being curious, you may not find yourself agreeing with them, but I found pretty quickly I can understand why someone thinks what they think, why someone believes what they believe. So play with that little musing, that story that came to mind. And I'll see you next time. Take care.